I'm Joe Cassava. I am the Joe in Puzzles by Joe. And I'm here to tell you why you should give me $150,000 for 20% royalty share in 3 casual download games, a trilogy called Diamonds, targeted at the hidden object genre. Okay, so I'm not even going to tell you the specifics of that game because I can already hear Kevin go, "But Joe, there's nothing proprietary here. Nothing. Why can't I just there's other people that do what you do. I can just get a group of them and do this." And that's where you're wrong. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. And I'm actually going to pick up this guy while I do it because part of what I'm selling is my ability to solve this cube. And it's not the ability to solve it, actually. It's the fact that I solved it in 10 hours the very first time I picked it up because I'm tenacious. The thing mocked me. It's actually in pain right now, and it mocked me until I solved it. But we won't go into details on that either. So let me tell you about myself. I made a game for the casual download space while working for a company called iWin called Mahjong Quest. That game sold 400,000 units and made over $5 million for that company. They paid me well enough for that job, but I really didn't see enough of that $5 million. And now I'm trying to figure out how to, make that money and keep more of it for myself. So I left them a couple years ago, and I looked around at the casual download space, and at the time, it had changed. It got taken over by hidden object games, which didn't even exist really when Mahjong Quest first went out the door. And hidden object games, by definition, currently are what they call disposable. It means somebody plays them for 4 hours, and then they're done. They move on to the next hidden object game. The difference with my games are addictive. So to enter the hidden object genre space without really doing a hidden object game because I couldn't afford to spend $150,000 on art, I decided to make a game that was replayable and would appeal to that crowd. So what I did was I decided to use photorealistic objects. And I created a game called Clutter. And in that space, Clutter made it to number 25 on Big Fish Games and earned me $50,000. I just put out the sequel to that game. It's launching May 8th on Big Fish Games. And I expect that to do as well, if not better, for approximately, basically 6 man months of my time. So, I know those are small numbers for you guys. You guys are big wigs making the millions. But $100,000 for a year of my time to do stuff I love is pretty good for me. But I'm really trying to figure out how to take that to the next level. So what I want to do is I want to make a non-disposable hidden object game. Because it'll kill. If I make it into the top 10, instead of having 200,000 downloads, I'll have 1 million downloads. And instead of making 50,000, they'll make anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million, each one of the 3 games. And that's what I'm offering. I need the high-end AAA art to create a game in that space, which should return anywhere, again, between 500,000 to 1 million net to me. They actually make more money off of that, but that's what's net to me. And what I'm offering you is 20% of that royalty net to me. So if you do all the math and so forth with 150,000 over the 3 games, and you do it even low end, high end, you're going to make 2 to 3 times your investment. So you're going to get somewhere between 300 and 450,000 back for that 150,000. Okay, so the cube. Back to the cube. Really, there's lots of people that can do it as fast as me. I'm not really fast anymore. But the cool thing about the cube is every time you do it, it's different. Now, I have a document for this game. I haven't told you anything about the game yet. It's actually called Diamonds. I may have mentioned that. But the thing is, I have a 100-page document that's the design of Diamonds. But I know by the time the game goes out, half of that, at least, will be on the cutting room floor. Because what happens is, here's the deal. Here's why I'm better than Kevin wanting somebody else to try to do this for him. We already know my game's addicting, but I'm going to tell you a little story about why I know they're addicting. I have complaints from my customers that when they end my game, that takes them between 6 and 12 hours to get through. It takes them 5 minutes at the end, because I play this little credit sequence, to get back and start the game again. And they complain about that. They complain that I don't get back to the beginning of the game quick enough. My games are addictive. There's randomness there, you play them over and over again. Okay, so back to the cube. Every time I solve the cube, it's different. There's just many choices. When you are lost in the jungle, it's not the elephant that kills you, it's the 1,000 mosquitoes. And this is where good games go bad. They have a designer that talks to the programmer, and he tries to explain what he wants, and the programmer tries to give it to him, but it never is quite what the designer vision had, and there's so many ways it can go wrong. I'm a jack of all trades. I do everything but the high-end art. So at the end of this, I guess I'm going to finish this cube, because by the way, the cube is sort of in pain. I solved it the first time in 10 hours because I actually worked for UPS, had to go to work for 4 hours in the middle, dead tired while I was putting myself through college. And the thing was, it mocked me. I tried to go to sleep when I got home, but the cube was mocking me on my desk, and I got up, and I spent another few hours at it. And then, within 10 hours of really picking up the cube, I solved it for the first time. And that's what you're getting with me. Tenacious, I love puzzles, and the devil's in the details. It's all my little decisions that's going to make that a top 10 game. And I'm going to triple your investment. I'm ready, Sharks!